The boy who told the truth? Ben was a cheerful little boy who loved to play outside. He especially loved his red kite. It was big, bright, and soared high in the sky like a bird. One windy afternoon, Ben took his kite to the park. He ran as fast as he could, letting the wind lift the kite higher and higher. But suddenly, snap, the string broke. Ben watched in horror as his kite tumbled through the air and landed with a crash in Mr. Oliver's garden. Mr. Oliver was the kind old man who lived next to the park. He loved growing beautiful flowers, and his garden was full of them roses, tulips, and bright yellow sunflowers. Ben peeked through the fence. His kite lay right in the middle of the garden, tangled in the flowers. Some of the stems were bent and petals had fallen to the ground. "Oh no," Ben whispered. "I've ruined Mr. Oliver's flowers." Ben's heart pounded. He could sneak in, grab his kite, and run away. Maybe no one would notice, but something inside him felt wrong. Taking a deep breath, Ben knocked on Mr. Oliver's door. The old man opened it and smiled. "Well, hello Ben, what brings you here?" Ben swallowed hard. "Too was flying my kite and the string broke. It landed in your garden, and I ruined some of your flowers." Mr. Oliver's face became serious. Ben felt small, but then the old man's face softened. "That must have been hard to say," he said kindly. "I appreciate your honesty, Ben." Ben blinked. "You're not mad?" Mr. Oliver chuckled. "Flowers can be replanted, but telling the truth? That's something special." Ben let out a deep breath. "I'll help you fix the garden," he said. And he did. He carefully stood the bent flowers back up and helped Mr. Oliver plant new seeds. As they worked, Mr. Oliver smiled. "Honesty makes people trust you, Ben. It shows you have a good heart." When they finished, Mr. Oliver walked inside and returned with something behind his back. "For you," he said, handing Ben a brand new kite, even bigger than his old one. Ben's eyes widened. "Wow, but why?" "Because you told the truth, even when it was hard," Mr. Oliver said. "And that deserves something special." Ben beamed. He ran back to the park, letting his new kite soar high into the sky. And as he watched it dance with the wind, he felt lighter than ever because telling the truth had made his heart feel as bright as the sun. Ah, the end. Ah. Benny the Bouncing Cloud. High up in the blue sky, where the sun shines bright and the wind sings soft songs, lived a small, fluffy cloud named Benny. But Benny wasn't like other clouds. While the big clouds floated lazily, Benny loved to bounce. Boing, boing, up and down he went, skipping across the sky. "Clouds are supposed to drift, not bounce," grumbled old Grizzle, the biggest storm cloud. "But bouncing is fun," giggled Benny. One day, as Benny bounced near the meadow, he saw a little bird struggling to fly. "Oh no, what's wrong?" Benny asked. "My wing is hurt," chirped the bird. "I can't get back to my nest." Benny thought for a moment. Then boing, boing, he bounced under the bird and gently lifted her up. With one last bounce, he reached the nest. The little bird hopped off safely and chirped, "Thank you, Benny." Benny felt proud. The next day, a group of children were playing in the park when the sun became too hot. Benny bounced over and spread his fluffy shade above them. "Ah, that's better," they cheered. Benny beamed. But just as he was having fun, dark storm clouds gathered. Crack, boom, thunder rumbled. "Time for rain," growled old Grizzle. "Go away, Benny. You're just a bouncing cloud." Benny frowned. Maybe he wasn't important after all. Then Benny saw a little lost kite tangled in a tree. "This is my chance to help," Benny thought. Boing, boing. He bounced higher and higher until snag. He caught the kite in his fluffy puff. With one last bounce, he gently placed it back in a little boy's hands. "Wow. Thanks, Cloud," the boy cheered. Just then, old Grizzle paused. "Maybe bouncing clouds can be helpful," he grumbled. Benny smiled. He might not be like the other clouds, but being different made him special. And so, Benny bounced happily ever after, helping birds, children, and lost kites all over the world. The end.
Once upon a time, nestled deep inside a sun-dappled forest, there lived a tiny chipmunk named Nibble. Now, Nibble was the kind of chipmunk who loved his quiet naps, but this year, he hadn't had a single one. Why? Because his neighbor, a ginormous, shaggy creature named Grumble the Giant, had been snoring so loudly all winter, the trees shook every time he exhaled. Nibble sighing. I haven't slept in weeks. Even the owls wear earplugs now. Grumble had been snoozing for months in his cave, wrapped in dreams and wrapped in thunderous snores. One sunny morning, Nibble scurried up to the cave entrance. Nibble yelling. Grumble. Buddy. Wake up, it's spring. No response. Just a snore that rattled pine cones off nearby branches. So Nibble tried banging a frying pan. Then a trumpet made out of a hollow acorn. Still nothing. While pacing through the forest, bleary-eyed and frustrated, Nibble bumped into a group of forest friends. Squirrel. You look like you haven't slept since last leaf fall. Nibble. I haven't. Grumble's snoring is louder than a thunderstorm. Owl. Have you asked Roarsun the mountain lion for help? His voice shakes the cliffs. The idea made Nibble freeze. Roarsun was king of the forest, and terrifying. But he was also his last hope. So, gathering every ounce of courage, Nibble crept up to Roarsun's rocky den. He was about to turn around when, snap, he stepped on a twig. Roarsun's golden eyes opened. Roarsun, growling. What tiny creature dares disturb my royal nap? Nibble trembling. Sir, mighty Roarsun. I need your help waking up Grumble. Roarsun laughed and said. You're barely big enough to be a sneeze. Why should I help you? Roarsun rolled his eyes and stomped off into the shadows, grumbling about how he doesn't take requests from crumbs. But something was wrong. Behind a bush, Nibble heard a strange scratching sound, and then saw Roarsun awkwardly twisting and rubbing his back against a tree. He was itching like mad. Nibble, softly. Are you, okay, Mr. Roarsun? Roarsun spun around, trying to act cool. Roarsun jittered. No. I mean, yes. I mean. I don't itch. You didn't see anything. But Nibble noticed tiny fleas hopping in the lion's fur. Without a second thought, he scampered up Roarsun's side and started picking them out one by one. Roarsun panicking shouted. What are you doing? Get off. That tickles. He tried scratching, rolling, even dunking himself in the river, sending Nibble flying through the air like a waterlogged leaf. But the little chipmunk held on. Nibble said. Almost done, just a few more behind your ears. Eventually, Roarsun stilled. For the first time in days, the itching stopped. Roarsun said quietly. You helped me. Even after I was a total jerk. Nibble smiling and said. Hey, everyone needs help sometimes. Even kings. And so, Roarsun lifted Nibble gently onto his head and said. Roarsun said. Come on. Let's wake a snoring giant. Together, they made their way to Grumble's cave. As the snoring echoed through the valley, Roarsun took a deep breath. And roared so loudly the birds flew out of the trees and snow melted off the peaks. Grumble yawning. Wah. Who's yelling? Did I miss spring? Is it my birthday? All the forest animals burst out laughing. And from that day on, the forest was quiet again. Nibble finally got his nap. Roarsun found a new friend. And Grumble? Well, he started sleeping with nose plugs, just in case. Even the smallest voices can do big things. And sometimes, a little kindness can wake up something bigger than a bear.